Hey there, this is Donovan, and I have placed the booking link in chat. And if anybody rolls on a little bit later, I'll add that again for people rolling on in. So we're talking about how to prepare kids better for the future. So if you're a parent, an educator, anybody that's really in charge of leading this Generation Z into their future, this is right for you. And certainly you could pass the word along as well if you're watching this video and you're feeling like you know somebody that could really use that support in this rapidly changing world. So Generation Z is facing, they actually have three worlds. When we grew up, there were two, and we had the inner world and the outer world. Now we also have this virtual world, which is literally a place to have a career. It's where my career exists entirely right now, and has for the past over a couple of years now, 100% is online. So what an amazing opportunity for this next generation to have three worlds to juggle, right? So we just had two, they've got three. And I want to encourage you to take advantage of this parent connection call. You also can reach out to me if you're an educator of some type or you work with teenagers in any way, shape, or form. I encourage you, if you're watching the recording, I'll also put this in the email as well. So you should be seeing this right in your email. If you're watching the recording, it's here on chat right now to click. All right, so I want to dive in and talk about the problem as I see it. A couple of the big problems are not everybody has 35,000 hours of experience. I'm fortunate as a dad. And I wish I had 70,000 hours instead of 35,000, because it's tough, you know, to have three daughters, three teenage daughters myself. I've got one that's jetted to LA. I've got another one that's jetting to Boston, getting as far away as they possibly can from Colorado in either direction. So I feel good about that. I feel like they've launched out of the nest with authority and fully fueled and powered up to actually take that shot, take a chance on themselves, take a chance on their dreams, and not be risk averse. So one of the big things I see is there's not enough time for every parent to get 35,000 hours of experience working with young adults, like I have over the course of 20 years as both a school counselor and a coach. So that's one of the big challenges, is there's not enough time for you to actually develop the expertise that you need to guide your kids. We will cover 7 big topics that you actually can dive in and help them with. I did 2 live streams on Facebook this week, so those are actually super helpful to you as well. So if you want to go back to my Facebook personal profile, that's a great place to see those two of the topics that I covered of the 7. We'll cover 5 more here tonight. So that deals with the present moment. So I taught one on the present moment. We've got a big problem out there with kids not being able to handle the mental health stresses and challenges. So that's number 1. And number 2 is, well, what about the future? So we can have worry or anxiety about the future. And I definitely gave another presentation on how to alleviate the future, my paid system. When they grow up, they want to get paid, both get paid literally and also grasp paid in terms of knowing themselves. So those are 2 of the biggies. All right, so diving in, dealing with these problems of you don't have enough time. So let's speed up that process for you so you've got enough time to help them. One other problem I want to mention is they're also not as receptive. They've already kind of picked up what you're putting down, so to speak, as a parent. They already have seen it all. They are paying attention to how we live way more than what we say coming out of our mouths. So that's another big one for kids, is that they are totally tuned into how we're doing life, how we're living life, and what we're demonstrating and showing them. So that's definitely a big piece. So I've got some big breakthrough ideas for you there. And also, we do 13 years. Another massive problem is we're getting kids ready for 1923 instead of 2023. So I'm going to write that down too. And time to prep. Awesome. And then, so within that one, what I mean by getting them ready for 1923 instead of 2023 and beyond is that we give them math, science, English, social studies, foreign language, all those liberal artsy things, and we give them 13 years of that stuff. But when it comes to the real skills, as Seth Godin calls them, we're not helping them out with the real skills so much. Maybe they develop some values if you've got a spiritual practice or religious practice. So that's good to get the values. But there's these real skills in a rapidly changing real world that are dramatically different than what they needed in the industrial, or what we needed, or actually even before us, people needed in the industrial era. So that's another big challenge. And I will talk about, again, I'll review as we go through what we covered before, like dealing with present moment stress, dealing with future anxieties. One of the big problems there on the future is we plan, the planning's all wrong. We just go to college undecided and we think that's a plan. That's not a plan. That's not a plan. So if I had that plan to just go somewhere, I couldn't say, Siri, I am undecided. That would not work out for me. I would not get a map toward undecided and just have her say, go to College Avenue and it's all going to work out. College Avenue goes from Fort Collins to Loveland, and that's just north and south. We're not going east. We're not going west. My daughters couldn't get to Babson. They couldn't get to cinema makeup school in LA. They couldn't get to either of those places if they just hopped on College Avenue, because Siri said, that's what you're supposed to do. All right, so diving in with, and I want to just remind you, go ahead and click that link in the chat if you'd like to book a link or book a time with me to just have a quick connection call, no more than probably 15 minutes, but it's like a 30-minute slot. It's just going to be a good way for you to see whether or not we're a fit. There is no charge for that. It's totally complimentary to just meet with me. It's not a salesperson. It's not anybody other than me at this point, at this stage. So you're going to be able to find a slot on my schedule that works for you. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. So I want to pull up on screen now the Teen Takeoff program, or Gen Z Takeoff, that encapsulates some of the kids in their 20s that I've been working with now. So as they get beyond high school, I'm serving kids beyond high school, helping them out with those plans and getting out of that nest. And so if we trickle on out of the nest, we get kind of gobbled up in this world. If we get out undecided and we're floundering around and flopping around, it's not very easy to succeed and thrive in this world. So if you actually think about taking off like an airplane or a rocket, airplane full throttle, that's how we need to take off. Otherwise, we do not get off that ground. Same thing with a rocket ship. It's pointed straight up, and you need like you need this ability to break from the atmosphere, and you got to take off big time to get out of that off that launching pad. So the nest is something that when I look at the kids that are the best fit, or the families that are the best fit, it's those families that really know that their kids have massively big dreams. They know they're destined for something special, or they absolutely refuse to settle in life for anything less than creating a life that's really got something special to it. They're going to go out and make a difference. I think the previous generations are maybe a little bit more focused in on themselves, but now we're coming to a head with some of these big challenges in the world, like they're existential issues. So we got Gen Z out here thinking like, how can I make a difference? How can I really live a meaningful life? What can I do to actually own my lifestyle? If the parents were too busy, they're too, working too hard in their businesses, working too hard in their professional life, and they want to have that lifestyle. Millennials kind of got that ball rolling. But what Gen Z is adding to that is not only do they want the lifestyle right, they also want to make sure they're living a meaningful life. They want to have a life that's out there being part of the solution. If you're a really, really good fit for me, if you just feel like you need the standard approaches, you just want to get some scholarships for college, you want some help writing essays, I know a person that can help you with that. I am not that person. I will be interviewing her coming up. That would be Mindy. So I'll be interviewing her coming up on my Facebook personal profile on Monday. So that's tomorrow night. But if you really want that help and support developing the real skills that are actually required for this real world, then this program is ideal. Some of this is not essential for tonight. I want to go through my flight lessons. So when I look at working with people, this is one of the programs, is the Gen Z Takeoff training program. When we have this conversation, we can take a look at how I support parents as well. So that could be step one, is just working with you directly. And then it would be your son or daughter next. So the Gen Z Takeoff program, it's comprised of these 5 lessons. So a flight plan is the idea that you need to create a vision for the future. I had a buddy of mine that I was playing golf with, school counselor, fellow school counselor. We should both be dialed into, mental conditioning and that kind of thing. And we were debating. He just says it's strictly skills. You got to, bang, shots at the driving range and you'll be great at golf. And I was like, that's not all of it. We got to work on our mindset. And so I told him about visualizing the shots and how, it's important to be saying the right things to ourselves out loud or in our minds, because he was grumbling about bad shots. And so we're on a par 5. We hit our first shot together. We get to keep arguing. Hit our second shot right next to each other. Get to keep arguing. Usually it's zigzaggy all over the place. So it was kind of trippy that we kept the debate going. And then he hits a shot and I can just visualize it going in the hole. It was like 110 yards away, lands on the green, goes to the hole and lips out and flops maybe 4 feet to the right, or maybe it's 2.5 feet to the right. And then I just said like, he said, I can just never get lucky. I never get a lucky shot. It never goes in for me. And I was like, well, yeah, because you think that way and you say things out loud. And he was like, I'm going to get you, man, because I just about hit that ball in the hole and don't mess with me right now. This argument is over. I was like, okay. I stepped up 109 yards away, hit my ball in the hole. And I said, see, you just got to have the right attitude. And I threw my club in the bag. And I visualized when that shot was kind of lasering on that pin that it was going to go in. That was not me. Like that is some kind of divine intervention there that got that ball to drop in. But we got to allow for that. I really do believe we can block it. So we have to help kids create the vision. So that's step 1, is backward designing this vision. And maybe forward and backward from where we are right now to where we want to go as young adults. We don't just jump in the middle to the path and say, I'm going to go to college. The end will work out. I don't need to know who I am. Just go to college and magically it all works out. That is not a strategy. So within step 1, create a vision, create it properly. You're going to want to help your kids create where they want to go, make that profound, have conversations with them to put icing on the cake, a cherry on the top. I do have a download called Dare to Dream. So you can email me and reply, Dare to Dream. You can message me on Facebook and just let me know you want that Dare to Dream download. But right now I want to go to step 2, and that's just goal setting. It's just SMART goals, maybe smarter goals or smartest goals, whichever you want to say. I help kids actually set a goal and start tracking it. All right, so that's number 2. You can help your kids do the same thing. If they're not setting goals and they don't have their eyes on some sort of prize, then you should help them track those, start those goals. Not just get the homework assignments done, not just school-related goals, but something that really appeals to their passions and interests. All right, paid. I want to refer you back to the Facebook live stream that I did for paid. This is a really good session that I did on how to do a personality assessment in under 5 minutes. That's more powerful than the ones that take forever and the kids glaze over and they're sick of answering all the questions. That's what happened for me. That's what made me become a pilot, or part of what helped me become a pilot. I just decided no go on being a pilot. So skipping to number 5, because I needed to find out what was really going to light me up and also was going to serve the world in the best way possible. I wanted to reach my full potential personally. I wanted to reach the potential of serving the world in the best way possible. So that's what paid is all about. All right, so SOS, I also covered. This is my traffic light, my ever famous traffic light. So when it comes to the inner world, nobody in the world ever had figured out how to demystify the inner world in a super concrete way. Somebody just, I think the Calm app just made a post, and the Calm app was like, sometimes you just gotta, know that it's okay, that you can't do it all. You can't help yourself. And it's like, that's right. Then you're in the yellow if you can't help yourself. You need to count on your trusted support system in your everyday life. If that's not enough, sometimes you're going to have to admit and accept that's not enough. That means you're in the red and you need professional help. So that is my SOS system. That's how I cracked the code. So I couldn't be like, so I wasn't fuzzy in the schools about, should I send this kid back to class? Do they need a deeper dive evaluation? What do they really need? When we were using numbering systems, those failed. If we just kind of pointed at zillions of emojis, that failed. Talking about the emotions, that failed. Pretty much everything failed, other than this traffic light idea of getting ridiculously clear on whether or not somebody was in the green, yellow, or red level. Then that gave me absolute 100% clarity on how to do that. So you can definitely go back to the Facebook live stream on that as well. Check that out. You absolutely need to get better at not only self-awareness as a parent, you have to get better at other awareness, which is of your son or daughter. Or if you're in the educational system, you got to get better at other awareness of the students. And it's the same system. It's a traffic light regardless. We don't drive around to different states of the world or states of the country and have purple lights in some places and orange ones in another place. It's just green, yellow, and red everywhere, because we need visual, universal languages to speak when we want to keep ourselves safe. So if we want to keep our kids safe, they need to have that same universal language for the inner world, and you need to help them develop it. And so I shared with you how to do that. So go or no go, I did a group coaching. The first time I did group coaching, I did it with both students and kids together, or I mean, parents and kids together. And I just decided decision-making is so important. I didn't know I was so unusual in terms of like being able to make a split decision that would change the rest of my life. I thought everybody did that. But what I realized is a lot of people are hardcore procrastinators. They're super indecisive. They just sit there forever, just kind of hemming and hawing and spinning their wheels. So I did this session and I said, okay, you know, Johnny, you're dropped off at a house to stay the night at a buddy's house. But when you open the door, there's kegs of beer right in front of you. And maybe there's like, oh, it looks like maybe they're doing some drugs over here. And what do you do, Johnny? And Johnny's like, I go in. And his mom's jaw dropped and hit the floor. Literally, I think it did literally hit the floor. And so she's like, what? Your 3.5 GPA. What about your, you know, your athletic career? And she's like, but mom, Johnny's like, but mom, I can't not go in. Everybody's seen me. What's that going to look like? And I'll be fine. I'll make all the best decisions in the world. So go or no go. That was that was such a huge hit that week. Awkwardly awesome hit. I'm going to admit the whole parent and kid coaching, running through all 7 of these steps with both parents and kids together was the most awkwardly amazing thing that I did the first time. So that was one of the big sessions. So these kids have such profound and important decisions to make right now in life that we absolutely have to help them be equipped for that. All right, before I go on to 5 and 6, or before I go on to 6, I want to remind you, go back into that email. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and click it in the chat if you'd like to book a call now. And let's get a short connection call going. It's just you and I able to speak with each other to see if you'd like to be better at preparing your kids for the future, or if you just want the standard traditional. I know things that are standardized are great for helping people get the generic average preparation. So that's also available to everybody. I don't need help with that. We're doing that all the time for kids with average preparation. So go ahead and book that call if you'd like to explore doing better by your kids. All right, so self-care streaks. This is like Snapchat streaks. I had kids giving away their usernames and passwords to other kids. It was probably the same as their debit card. And I'm like, dude, what are you thinking right here? That's crazy. And then I was like, you know what? This is a better way to put it than a habit or a discipline. And so when I have kids develop good habits or develop more discipline, it's built around this philosophy of creating a streak. So if your kid right now is looking to create a good habit, have them start and track a streak. It could be a piece of paper. My current clients just wanting to do it on a piece of paper. I've also tracked these on Google Docs or spreadsheets where we can update it online. So very easy to update online, or if you're, a lot of kids do need a pattern interrupt. It's better to have a notebook or a binder or paper to get themselves out of the phone and away from those addictive tendencies to get hooked on the phone. Finally, I want to share with you that my 7th step resume 2.0 all of you need to be teaching kids what to post online. We can't just tell them what not to post online. We have to teach them what to post online so they truly know how to develop their professional presence. I was just on with Lily 2 nights ago on Zoom, and she and I were putting together her website. She's wrapping up at cinema makeup school, and it's going to be a gig economy for her in that realm. And we're looking to put together a really awesome website for her. So Resume 2.0 is social media and it's websites. And even if we're not running a business, because I definitely know in the realm of running businesses, lots of people are using social as their marketing. Well, Resume 2.0 is the idea that before you ever get an interview, before they ask for some paper resume or application, they can just go look you up online, and they can, your reputation is preceding you. So people make a pre-impression of us all the time now. So number 7 is it's really, really, really important to teach your kids how to stand out professionally and create really good marketing with their social media. All right, so I am going to wrap up here. I'll stop the recording and stick around here a little bit, but I'm going to make this recording nice and short so people can be watching it on the replay in email. So the opportunity here is to just have a conversation with me. If you've been watching the kind of things I post and you see what my mission is, my heart's in it to win it for Generation Z becoming the greatest generation of all time. We've never had tools like this for any other generation before, not even the millennials, to actually pool resources from anywhere on the planet or access resources from anywhere on the planet. And it's amazing for people not to have to be in Frederick, Colorado, or Loveland, Colorado, or Windsor, Colorado, to have been served by me from now on. It's all possible for anywhere in the world. And I've had international clients now. So that's the cool opportunity here. Go ahead, book a time with me. You've got the link available to you. And let's just have a conversation around what your kid's vision is of the future, what that big challenge is. I usually can identify something just in our conversation there that's mad value right there, just those 2 things. Then we'll see what that commitment level might be as you imagine it for your son or daughter, or if you're really feeling like there's a good fit between us. If I think there's a good fit, then we'll talk about a few different ways we can work together. So we should be able to wrap that up in about 15 minutes. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to be here tonight to share this with you. And I hope you tune into those live streams. They're still up. Those are still living live on my Facebook personal profile to, share a little bit more about paid and SOS steps 3 and 4. And that's it for now. I'll stick around a little bit, but I'm going to stop the recording now. And I look forward to hearing from you.